Hello, welcome back to Everlasting Summer. And there's one more thing I can do now. There's a setting, and then mod user scenarios, and then something called One Pioneer Story. Ooh. So is this an extra story? Oh. Hmm. Hmm. Whoa. My world is empty as I am. I destroyed myself to become a world of emptiness that destroyed me. I believed I had someone's fate in my hands, the power to end the lives of others. But I was only wandering in the darkness, vainly hiding from any new beam of light, every one of which was only spawning empty shadows. Every shadow was my faceless reflection, a cloud of absolute darkness with a single goal, to consume me. I was hiding from them, merging with them. They were becoming me, and I was becoming them, and finally it didn't matter which one of us was on the side of the mirror. Outside of the mirror. Although, in this case, it's not just a cliched phrase or the reflection of a crude loser. It is a fact. Even though this wasn't the case before, even though before the worlds were many and my life could be called a life, because it all ended in a single moment. First was this darn bus, again, everywhere, and a crowd of those joyfully whooping pioneers around, the same as me. And again, like a vivid kaleidoscope of faces, events, emotions, and feelings. But who the heck cares anymore? You know, if a man has died, he will regret that what he didn't have time for, what he didn't do, what he didn't say, rather than exactly how his life journey ended. But am I in one of those places where the souls go after death? And everything could have been different too. It doesn't matter what that the end is always one and the same if the road to it can vary. It depends on my choice. It did before. So when did everything change? The different versions of events, the lines of life, the people's fates that seem to intertwine several times over, resulting in something like a rope of doom which you can only hang yourself on. So when did it all change? Surely not in a single day, a single hour, but certainly so fast I didn't even have time to notice. The rays of the summer sun shined into my eyes. A summer one, well, who would have thought? What a surprise. But it was winter yesterday. Or was it yesterday? I know there's a pack of cigarettes in a matchbox tucked away in the driver's glove box. My head spun from the deep breaths I inhaled, and the nasty smell of methane all fettered my brain with a chill. Cosmos for export. They could make stuff for export then, unlike now. Nuclear reactors, rifles, cigarettes, and communism. Lots of communism in boxes, crates, containers, in the cargo holds of ships, in the freight sections of planes, in the goods wagons of trains, even in the spaceships. Even more communism to the pygmies of Africa, Incans of South America, Papuans of New Guinea. And I guess we can drop a package for the penguins in Antarctica too. Oh, I'm raving. Finishing the third cigarette, I stared at the gates and started to wait. I don't even need a clock. There's an unfailing internal chronometer working in my head. Now, just a little bit longer. One of the doors squeaked disgustingly and opened up a bit, and from behind it peeked out a girl in a pioneer uniform who looked around and noticed me. Walking closer, she sniffed the heavy, hot air and seemed to be a bit surprised, but immediately smiled and spoke. Hi, you must be the new... Go... yourself? What? I shouted, got up and went to the camp ignoring her. Oh, what was that? It was hilarious once, then it was fun. Now it's just a habit. A foolish but obsessive habit, like putting different things in different pockets. I, for example, can't carry a phone in my right pocket because, heck if I know why. And this is the same deal. Insulting a girl in the morning is a good start to the day. What did you say that for? I met another pioneer girl on the way. To be more precise, she tried to hit me on the back, but I jumped away in time and glared at her in a way that seemed to make the poor girl suddenly come up with more urgent things to do. The camp leader's hut was drowning in a storm of lilacs. Can it just drown already, Hermit? The loud slam of the door distracted the occupant from reading some book. No, I really never wondered what the camp leader reads. Without undressing, I hopped onto the bed and threw my feet in their winter boots up on the backboard. What do you think you're doing? And for that matter, who are you? The camp leader asked, genuinely resentful. Shut your mouth, woman, I said lazily. She was petrified, unable to say a word. It's always like this, every darn time. Better yet, tell me, why have you still not found yourself a man? How old are you, 25? Late 20s? You should understand the way the world works at this age. For a moment, a heavy silence hung in the room. You don't know? I'll tell you then. Wait, you don't know? I'll tell you then. Who wants someone like you? The camp leader's house resounded with a loud laugh, or even something more like a hoarse neigh, while a familiar melody ran outside. A couple of times I tried to find out where this upper music was coming from, so instead of it, the speakers would play something more of a rush cheery throughout the camp. I didn't, though. Looks like this angelic singing needs neither a player nor wires or electricity. Heck with it then. For example, right now I wouldn't be against the whole camp hearing me laugh. But at whom? Not at myself, no. I'm just laughing because laughter is a wonderful defense mechanism and a way to allay the boredom. How much does a minute of laughter give you? 5 minutes of life? Well, it's of no use to me. I'm a de facto immortal. I just need a notarial certification. How dare you talk this way to your elder? Oh, yeah, dear, change the track already, will you? Honestly, I'm sick of listening to the same thing again, time and time again. Let's try it this way. Hello, how are you doing? See, it's not that difficult. Okay, your turn now. What? Not what, it's hello, how are you doing? And I'll reply, thanks, bad as always. And maybe I'll even add, thanks to your prayers. Get out of here, I'll call the police. How? With the Pigeon Express? The phone isn't working. Yes, but The camp leader faltered. Although, I reached into my pocket, the left one, took out my mobile and threw it to her. Here, try it. The camp leader caught the phone. It jumped around several times in her hands and almost fell to the floor. What is this? A phone. I gave a short answer and closed my eyes. That thing, you know, ting-a-ling-a-ling, that telephone began to ring. Are you sick in the head? The camp leader seemed to have finally started to come to her senses. What about you? I don't know what's happening here. Have you seen the film Groundhog Day? You haven't. Well, anyway, if that library of yours had some books on psychiatry, I would have been able to answer the question about my psychiatric condition with more certainty. That's why for now, I'm only ready to tell you as an amateur. Yes, Oya dear, I'm sick. And again, the loud devilish laugh. The camp leader was stunned and released the phone from her hand. It fell on the edge of the bed and bounced towards me. I picked up the cell at once and put it in my pocket. But not in love with you, I added, opening one eye. Someone shyly knocked on the door, then it opened, and a pioneer girl appeared at the doorstep. Oh, God, I theatrically jumped off the bed. And where's the chopper? Forgotten at home? The girl looked at the camp leader in confusion. This is, she started, then sighed and sank heavily onto the opposite bed. Actually, I knew that the camp leader isn't afraid of me. The fear is simply not included in our program. She can be resentful, yeah, as much as you want. Imitate fright, most assuredly. But a couple minutes will pass and she'll withdraw, leaving me be. Camp leader, my foot. If I were in her shoes. This must be a bad time. The girl shyly prattled, casting her eyes down and preparing to leave. Why? Don't be shy, I exclaimed hospitably, gesturing to a place near me. Sit down now. Make yourself at home. No, Sit down, I said. I barked. Now this girl can certainly display genuine fright, fear, and even terror. She slowly approached and sat on my bed, clinging to the blackboard. So, got anything nice to tell me? Is this him after he's come here a bunch of times and he's just going insane from it and being mad at all these people now? Is that what's happening? Fury. I, the same as any other kid, was taught by my parents since childhood that I shouldn't open the door to strangers. And also that I would be better off not going who knows where when called by who knows who. But that was in childhood. And now literally everything depends on whether or not I trust a stranger. It seems like a whole life has gone by already, and I had time to get old mentally, if not physically. And I forgot that winter is snow, cold, the evening darkness, a wind that chills to the bone, and eternal muddy slush. Same goes for the city. not stopping for a minute, always running somewhere and fumigating the dirty sky and people with lines of rotten chimneys and car exhausts. It stayed in the distant past like the faded pages of an old photo album that has been thrown into a storeroom as unnecessary. Ooh, okay. Oh, Zhenya. Oh, it's Zhenya. Oh, hey. The voice of the girl sitting nearby distracted me from these thoughts. You hung up again? Still thinking about that? About what? She meant no offense, and I asked again just for the sake of it. I already knew the answer. You know. We were sitting on the library's roof, our legs dangling over the edge. Zhenya leaned back a bit, her hair beautifully fluttering in the wind. The bright sun was shining into our eyes, making us squint, but it wasn't blinding, more like velvety warm, and seemed to envelop your whole body in the pleasant heat of a sunny day. No. I mean, I don't know, I guess. Lately, I can't always say what I'm thinking about, just a mush of thoughts in my head. I fell silent for a moment and looked at Zhenya. She looked like she was uninterested, not only in our conversation, but in everything happening around her in general. As if this girl was okay with everything. The summer, the sun, the pleasant wind, our youth. As if this is enough for her to be happy and the rest are just foolish trivialities. In short, you get what I'm saying. Why do you even ask? Because a human is a social creature, it's supposed to communicate with others like it. She grinned almost unnoticeably. Yeah, right, look who's talking. Wait here, I'll go get the award for the most communicative pioneer of the year 1980 whatever. What about me? I, unlike some people, have quite specific responsibilities in this camp. I'm a respected member of our collective, irreplaceable even, in a sense, in contrast to you. Zenya's eyes sparked as she grinned mockingly. Responsibilities, yeah, sure. I covered my eyes with my palm and leaned back. Seriously, can you hear yourself? Responsibilities, collective. Hey! Zhenya said sternly and poked my belly. Oh, I moaned mostly theatrically and cast a wrathful glance in her direction. What if I fell down? Hurt myself? Huh? That would be highly regrettable. There isn't even any place to get life insurance here. Yeah, and there would be no one to pay the reimbursement to afterwards. Well, no one is. I rubbed the back of my head, smiled dumbly, and said, What about you? Me? Zhenya thought for a second. Well, maybe, though I don't think the canteen accepts dollars, euro, or credit cards, or at the very least, Russian rubles. And there's probably no currency exchange here either. And even if there was, who knows how the exchange rate is doing? I don't want to suffer from the inflation, you know? Demand they pay you in gold. Gold, my butt. She threw herself on me, trying to either tickle me, squeeze me, beat me down, or all of the above. Oh yeah. Leaving the camp leader's house, I was chuckling. I probably shouldn't have expected anything from the conversation with this pioneer girl. And I didn't. Why would I? It's all been known for a long time now. I'm able to play this piece on my own, like a miserable one-man show. What an irony. A play with one actor, in a theater with one spectator, in a city with one citizen, in a universe with one living being. Or living in quotation marks, or maybe living in italics. What kind of obituary would you prefer? With scrollwork or without? With capitals or without? What font would you like? Should the paper be glossy or matte? Again. Down the road was skipping a jolly little girl. Should I maybe start with her this time around? I remember there being splendid meat hooks in the canteen. Or shouldn't I? And who are you? She blurted out, coming up to me. I am the terror that flaps in the night. Ooh. I demonstrated with spread my arms and loomed over her. Wait, that's not scary at all. Oh, no, that was him. Yeah, it was him. Whoops. Not scary? Well, it'll do for now. I grinned and went forward. I am the terror that lives in the night. Hey! Her shout followed me. Wait. The girl caught up to me and grabbed my hand. Don't touch me. I cried with disgust and forcibly jerked my hand so the young pioneer flew off the road and fell into the bushes. Ouch, that hurt. She started to cry. Strange. Now this is really strange. I don't think something like this has ever happened before. Of course, this day has repeated itself so many times already that it's impossible to count. And the point is really not the girl flying into the bushes, it's that there shouldn't be anything new. Even such an insignificant, as one might think, occurrence may in the end turn out to be more important than all the previous times. Than the first time. I don't know why, I just feel that it's simply been too long since anything new happened. Of course, this world isn't comparable to a monotone mechanism that does its work soullessly, but all the variations of the script are familiar to me. And when I say all, I mean all. A couple of minutes ago into the camp leader's house could have some could have come not that shy pioneer, but the girl who met me at the camp's gates, and I will be ready. Or the arrogant pioneer girl that greets strangers with a thump on the back, and I will be ready. Or even this little crybaby, and I would still be ready. But now, at this very moment, something is happening that I'm not ready for. And above all, I'm not ready for surprises. The girl continued to cry, looking at me with the eyes full of anger and resentment. It's all your fault. Come on, what are you crying for? I walked up to her hesitatingly and reached out my hand. For a second, the girl made a puzzled face, but then grabbed me and got to her feet with a jerk. Felt ashamed, did you? That's the point. You can't bully the little ones. Ashamed? I repeated, my thought far from here. Why? Because of you. Why would I be? But you should. She frowned and ran towards the camp leader's house. To complain, maybe. I don't know. I really don't know. For the first time in a long, long time, something like this has happened. Just a couple of minutes ago, I could say with certainty what each of the pioneers is occupied with at this particular moment. And what now? At dinner, the camp leader approached me. That turned out awkward. She began as she gathered her thoughts. Your parents called me but you could have behaved more properly. At least introduce yourself for a start. She said as her expression changed. But that's nothing. We will make a model pioneer of you. Before I would have told her in detail about both the pioneers and the modeling, but right now I just had no desire to talk, neither with her nor with anyone else. Alright then, for a start, you should meet your comrades. The camp leader waved her hand, inviting someone to the table, and two girls approached us. Well, enjoy your meal. I have more things to do. She said uncertainly and left the pioneers alone with me. Hi, you're new, right? Do you like music? Join our music club. It's only me there right now, though, but with you there, will be two of us. It'll be fun, don't you think? I didn't look at her and continued to eat intently. Leave him alone. Don't you see he's kind of a lame brain? If the first girl was just a bit dumb, the second one I would compare to that grumpy cat on the internet. How about... I've never actually done this before. It just never crossed my mind. Well, if I don't know the future events now, then why not give it a try? Oh, I silently got up, took the compote glass, and poured it on the second pioneer's head. Bon appetit. I summed up this act of vandalism with a stony voice and headed to the exit of the canteen. The girl cried, squealed, wheezed, and even moaned somewhat hoarsely, but didn't try to stop me. Right now, I most wanted to be in some other place, to look at the world from the outside, to observe the suffering of others from the height of my experience. But starting today, those places are no more. At the doors, I bumped into that first girl who I met at the gates, tried to go around her, but... received a biting slap in the face. The sound immediately ran through the canteen, its echo bouncing off the ceiling. In the space of a moment, complete silence fell. In less than a second, my hand clenched into a fist, nails digging into the palm, the skin on my knuckles stretching almost to the point of rupturing. I was going to knock this. God. I was late by a fraction of a second. He's a menace here. What the? Between us, as if out of the ground, bringing me the little pioneer that I threw into the bushes, who spread her hands sideways, protecting her friend with her small body. And that was the end of that. I unclenched my fist, my willpower gone, lowered my head, squeezed past them, and left the canteen. Did they really turn out to be stronger than me? Why did something like this even happen? Before, I would have. Why even would nothing stop me so many times? Hitting a girl was nothing. I've done worse things. Looks like this world has changed without informing me. The rings of cigarette smoke were slowly drifting towards Zhenya. The pack was almost empty already, and there is nowhere else to get smoke sears. I will have to wait another week. Obviously, I could go to the Autistic Brothers, take the bottle of vodka, and get drunk, but what would that change? Decisions so complicated now and so simple then. Oh, did I start to think like that loser already? No, never. Got any more? Yet another pioneer girl took a seat near me. What? I asked uncomprehendingly. She pointed at the cigarette. Smoking is bad for your health. Look who's talking. She grinned. Mine's made of rubber. Want to try it? No need. I'll take it on trust. I handed a cigarette to her and gave her a light. You did something cool today. Well, she said after the coughing stopped. And the camp leader in her hut, I heard, and at supper. At least I'm not the camp's biggest disgrace now. I looked at her carefully. The pioneer smoking a cigarette used casually and smiling so complacently as if the whole world had already acknowledged her rightness. And you, I see, are only thinking of yourself. What? What are you talking about? I know. Her expression changed. She even panicked a little and choked on the smoke. But you're right. You were never the worst one here. I'm not so sure about myself, though. You're talking so, well, coolly. Now, praise from her was certainly all I needed. Or maybe, listen, I started smiling one of my study smiles. While we're at it, do you want to meet for a drink, so to say? You got any? The pioneer's eyes flashed. I can always find some for a good comrade. Although it all started like in a bad novel that's printed by chapter in a gutter newspaper, it turned out completely different. The memories blended together into a continuous haze of an orange-red tone, like a yellow brick road leading to the Emerald City. Though Dorothy grew up a bit and earns a living by prostitution because instead of studying diligently, she was all caught up in dreams of magical land. What the? The counter line got hooked on shot firefight with the police. Now Lieutenant had a pretty good life. He's becoming. What the? Oh, what? This is so dark. If Scarecrow didn't even change at all, he got himself a stable, well-paying job in an office with convenient working hours from 9 to 6 and an absence of career opportunities. There probably wasn't any magical city ahead in the first place. An endless road with no destination or meaning. You know, at that time, he really was talking about something like this. Tried to warn me, at least. I wasn't listening, and as a result, ended up as the only one to get stuck in this darn Mobius strip. Sure. That's what all of them are doing. Sure, why not? She was sitting nearby and squinted with discontent. Hey, hello, Earth is calling. Okay, what's wrong? Like I can't take a moment to think already? Thoughts should lead to a result, and what have you got? Well, what have I got? A lack of results. A lack of results is still a result. Yep. Zhenya painfully pinched me on the shoulder and moved a meter away. Yes, it is. He's right. And then she appeared. No, Zhenya. Zhenyas have always been in the Soviet, but at that time, I saw my Zhenya for the first time. Maybe I don't remember what happened before and what came after that well, but those several days will forever remain in my memory. I've already realized clearly that this is not my frozen world. Understood that an eternity later, I had again, as I had once before, managed to fall into another. Managed accidentally, as if for a second the orbits of two planets crossed, and I only had a moment. If I were a second late, they'd fly away from each other forever, getting farther and farther apart with stupendous speed. This world is as lonely and empty as the previous one, but the main thing in it is that it's different. And there are things here unfamiliar to me. Oh, this is really important. It's so important to me. For me. For example, Zhenya not sitting out in the library, but on the canteen's porch. After all that's happened, I was just not capable of sarcasm. Hi, I said as I came closer, but still stopping at a safe distance. Zhenya raised her eyes to me. Her face showed that she didn't expect to meet someone here. Hi. And her voice didn't sound like usual. Not that I would have mistaken the librarian's intonation for anything else. Decided to get to supper earlier? No, I don't know. When's supper again? She pattered. What do you mean, when's supper? Her answer left me in a stupor, and I broke into a smile, though a chill ran through my whole body. No, sorry, of course. I know when it's supper is. It's just, well... Zhenya got completely confused and stared at her feet. It seemed like the last thing she wanted right now is to be here, but she didn't have enough resolve to leave. It was strange, but didn't scare me at all. On the contrary, I was happy because something new, beyond the scope of the pattern, has happened. Are you alright? I asked the stupidest question possible in the situation. What did I even expect to hear in return? Yes, thank you. For what? I don't know. Well, for being worried. Well, I just... A faint tinge of discontent appeared on her face, but disappeared immediately, and Zhenya slowly got up. I gotta go. Wait, but weren't you on your way to the canteen? I'll come later. I got other things to do. Okay. I didn't stop her, but decided to follow. God knows how long has it been since anything like that has happened to me. Only on my first few times here, maybe. Zhenya came to the square and quickly went in the direction of the library. She never turned around on the way, so I didn't even have to hide much. When the door shut behind her, I froze in hesitation. So what's next? Should I knock and go in? But what will I tell her? One wouldn't need to be a detective to realize that I've been following her. I was brought out of my thoughts by Electronic, who appeared before me as if out of nowhere. What? Came with the checklist? Yeah, just decided to visit the library. Got it, I won't distract you then, he said and prepared to leave already. Wait, don't you think that lately Zhenya has been, well, behaving strangely, I guess? Electronic looked at me carefully, appraisingly even. Did something happen? No, nothing. It looked as if I was making excuses, and a feeling of personal pettiness enveloped me. Why should I make excuses to him? I'm just asking. What, I can't even ask already? No, of course you can, he said nervously. Maybe she really has been a bit strange. I guess I've noticed something like that in the past couple of days. Really? And how did the strangeness manifest itself? I'm not sure. She's just usually more self-confident or something. You think we should talk to her? I was going to say, you certainly shouldn't, but restrained myself. Okay, forget it. Maybe she's just in that mood. What mood? No mood. That one. Guess it. Aren't you one of our future scientists? I answered abruptly. Electronic thought for a moment as if pondering the fate of the world, and then nodded understandingly. Okay. I spread my arms a bit and lowered my head, indicating that if he had no more business with me, then it would be better for him to get back to building robots and to do so as soon as possible. Of course, he was a bit slow, but this time he understood me on the first try. When Electronic left, I sat, my back pressed against the tree near the library in such a way I couldn't be seen from the windows, and started to think. To be more specific, I tried to think, because there were catastrophically not enough facts for a comprehensive analysis of the situation. When the wallpaper in your room changes from white to black, you can get surprised, scared, assume that they've been recolored without you knowing, get angry at the one who did that. But those are all emotions. A fact in that situation would be a note on the table saying something like, Dear, I thought it would be better to get ready for eternity beforehand, so I changed the tone of the interior to a more fitting one. And what did I have on my hands at that moment? Behind me, a huge number of loops, now the librarian's strange behavior, and ahead, uncertainty. Not exactly a solid basis for constructing theories of any kind. Oh, and I was a master of theories, if anything, though that was all in the past, because at some point I stopped caring completely about why exactly I am destined to spend an eternity in this camp. Again. And whatever I decided, this is all not like me. I don't think like that and probably never did. It's as if someone put foreign words into my head. Did I stop being myself when it came to an alien world? The grass treacherously rustled under my feet, giving my presence away. I was sneaking up to the library, trying to find out what is happening inside. Zhenya was sitting behind a table, staring straight ahead, without even a thought flashed through my head. She looked bewildered, doomed maybe, like someone who is told they have only a matter of hours left to live. I wish I could tell her that everything's alright, and in 5 days it'll all repeat again, and then again. But how could this even be alright? It's like telling a sick man that he'll die in 5 days, but he shouldn't worry, because in 7 days after that, he'll die again. About 10 minutes had passed, but Zhenya never moved. Sometimes it even seemed to me that she wasn't breathing. Now I began to realize with certainty that this is not just strange. This is it. The thing that threw me into this new world. I just had to decide what to start with. I could ask her head on, tell her my story. Oh, here you are. The camp leader was standing behind me. I turned around abruptly and said irritably, What do you want? Like always, like I was used to. What are you dithering here for? Forget that you need to get a signature in the library too. The camp leader seemed not to pay attention to my words and tone. Not like usual, but like sometimes long ago. But along with memories of my first appearance in this camp came the long-forgotten images of the local inhabitants, those I had deemed to be people at the time, not just decorations. It's just, you see, I don't even want to hear it. Get it all signed before dinner. Of course, I was just going to see. Then go. Olga Dmitrievna followed me to the door with her eyes, so I didn't even have to choose what to do next. The camp leader helped. The library smelled like book dust, old Soviet furniture, and a little bit of damp. Zhenya was sitting and paying no attention to me, and seemed to only come to her senses when I closed the door. Hi again. I started hesitantly. After all, I was used to a certain behavior and communication pattern with the camp's inhabitants, and it was hard to change my ways. And this camp leader didn't let me get ready either. I wish I'd strangled her with her Panama as always. Zhenya didn't answer, but kept looking at me cautiously. I kind of came to get the checklist signed. Okay, give it here. She answered unemotionally. I started to fumble in my pockets and then realized, no, there's totally something wrong happening with me. I should have gotten used to everything after all this time, and I'm behaving like a first grader. More specifically, like a first sessioner in the terms of this world. I think I lost it, I said, making an upset face. That's too bad. She replied in the same dry and uninterested voice. I froze in some kind of superposition. If I turn around and leave now, then what? But at that moment, determination came from who knows where. Can I ask you a question? What question? And really, what? Don't you think they've been understated salting the food in the canteen lately? The nights have gotten pretty cold, right? Oh, by the way, do you know that I'm an alien from the future? Are you alright? Lately, it seems like you're upset with something. Henry's face showed a glimpse of interest. But we don't know each other. Yeah, sure, it's just that I saw you yesterday and thought. I was getting more and more entangled in lies. The inability to tell the truth was driving me ever further into autism and reducing my vocabulary. I saw you running through the camp yesterday too, but we still don't know each other. No, we don't, but I was told about you by Slavia. Yeah, you're roommates with her, right? And what did she tell you? Little by little, Zhenya was starting to emerge from her contemplative condition. Nothing. I let out a helpless sigh and heavily sank into the chair near the door. Outside the window, the many-voiced birds were singing their songs, the crickets were chattering, some more water was splashing, and from far away was the perky sound of children laughing. But all of that was there, beyond the walls of the library. Inside of here are only the two of us, me and Zhenya, or to be more precise, a girl who looks like Zhenya. There was no fear, but rather wonder. Let's assume that I'm not me. Who are you then? For a second, I even felt insulted that she doesn't know who I am. Why, me? Oh, that me. That one? Yes, that guy. Pioneers of many worlds have told legends about me. But the specific Zhenya in the specific world seemed to not care about who I am and what I am doing here, and our conversation that seemed to have started to interest her has turned into useless chatter. Who do I look like? Zhenya swept her eyes over me. A pioneer? Yeah, sure, a pioneer. That's logical. Nice joke. I grinned strenuously. I wasn't joking. It's just that I look like myself and you don't. I don't look like myself. You don't look like yourself. The final assault has begun. In what sense? She marveled. In the sense that you are not Zhenya. No, I mean you're not the local librarian. Who am I then? She moved her eyes to the side as if looking for something on the bookshelves. I don't know. That's why I'm asking. If this is another joke. Joke? Well, you know, everyone knows already. She got embarrassed and blushed. No, I don't. With the thumbtack on my chair, I left to get a book, and while I was looking for it, Alyssa. Zhenya stared down to the floor, tears filling her eyes. No, I haven't heard about anything like that. Though if you think about it, something like that was happening in the previous time. Alyssa decided to play a prank. It's just that I paid absolutely no attention to it then. And Zhenya reacted differently too, I think. Alyssa. Oh. Get off me! The pioneer girl mumbled while buttoning her shirt, her tongue merrily moving. The Cybernetics Club was bathed in the bright moonlight. On the table was lying an empty bottle with a tiny lake of vodka spilled around it. My cheek was burning, and the head was spinning so hard I couldn't even understand why exactly, but hardly because of the alcohol alone. If you thought that I'm like that, then you can go to hell. The girl's fingers weren't listening to her. The button was jumping back and forth, but refused to go to its prescribed place. Yeah? I lost my temper, grabbed the pioneer by the hands, pressed her against the table, and tore her shirt open with my teeth. Like what then? Like what are you then? I'm asking you. That's not a rhetorical question. Answer me. I didn't want to change anything. It all suited me. I was living my accustomed life in my accustomed world, doing what I wanted. Why the heck would I need this novelty? You want this, I know, to go swill vodka with a stranger 5 minutes after you meet him. Not like that, are you? To heck with all of you. Make everything how it was. I was losing control over myself, the situation, the world itself. Let go, it hurts. The girl was crying. But I was holding her firmly, and in a minute she went limp and closed her eyes, with only occasional hot and salty tears falling from them. Now, see, that much better. I was rough with feeling her up everywhere, breathing rapidly and loudly at that. Because you are mine, because you are all mine here, this whole world is mine. But the girl wasn't resisting, and I suddenly lost interest, even felt disgust. And I don't need you, there are better ones here. I let her go and slid down to the floor, exhausted. The pioneer didn't move, only continued to sob quietly. I can have any girl here, any, you hear me, and then I'll take the meat clear, and you think that didn't happen before? I was shouting. You think you can tell me what to do? This is my world, you hear me? Mine. You all don't even exist. I'm talking to myself. Stop whining. I lost the last bits of control over myself, jumped up, and leaned all my weight on the girl. She seemed to be close to fainting already. I bent forward and whispered into her ear, You know what I've been doing with you so many times? Wanna listen? Oh no, listen now and I'll tell you. Suddenly I panicked. It has been an infinitely long time since the very beginning, but every second of it I've been living was aware of myself as a person. I was controlling the situation in this world and many before it. And for the first time I got a feeling that I'm disappearing, that in a moment's time I'll be gone. How can that be? It's me. Don't you see? Don't you remember? You're a weakling. The girl's whisper reached me as if from another world. A pathetic weakling, a nobody. I would feel pity, but you can't pity an empty place. I jumped back from her in terror. On the pioneer's face was frozen a grimace of disgust, the tears disappearing as if they'd never been there. She got up from the table, took a couple of steps towards me, and stopped. Oh, you're going crazy. Why are you telling me all this? Zhenya asked lazily, turning a page over. Ripples were running across the water. Above us were swaying the leaves of a birch, with bright beams of a tiring midday sun shining through them. The birds were singing loudly in the grove, and the small bugs hiding in the tall grass were busily jumping on my legs. Well, why are you reading that book? Don't tell me that's the first time. I like to. See, you like to narrate, and I like to read. On the other shore, on the beach, pioneers were frolicking. Olga Dmitrievna was running after Ulyana in the middle of the river. I distinguished Slavia's gold-colored head. Could she be swimming here? So what? What? What happened next? I thought you weren't interested. You are, though. Zhenya smiled. Oh. She spat in my face and walked outside, shutting the door loudly after herself. And I was left standing there. What is it? This is it? The end? At some point, I was waiting for it, maybe even with impatience. But it was so long ago that already I don't even remember. And what now? These dolls, these soulless dolls destroyed my world that I've been building my whole life. Just like that, in one day's time, I ran my hand over my cheek and saw my fingers covered with something wet. The night had long descended upon the camp, hiding the local pioneers under its cover, hiding their malice and willingness. And I was just sitting in the Cybernetics Club, my arms folded around my knees, slowly rocking from side to side. Maybe that pioneer girl will come back now. After all, she could humiliate me much more strongly. Or even do something worse. But time was passing by, and it was only the singing of the night birds and chirping of the crickets getting quieter. And dawn is near too. The camp will wake up then and start living its life that had suddenly become so unfamiliar to me. Well, whatever. To heck with it. I got to my feet with some difficulty and looked at the empty bottle of vodka lying on the table. It would be nice to pass out now and wake up tomorrow as if nothing happened, forget about today, appear in a world I'm used to where the pioneer's behavior is familiar and predictable. And it all started with that little girl. She never cried before, or maybe she did and I just never paid attention. Even if that's true, so what? What? Become a weakling, feel sorry for that little thing, go down to their level even? No, I have to pull myself together. I left the Cybernetics Club, slamming the door loudly, and breathed in the fresh night air. Strange, it didn't feel as artificial as usual. So, where should I go? I guess catching up to that pioneer girl and getting revenge for the spit in the face would be worth it. I would have never forgiven such an insult before, and I won't forgive it now. There wasn't a single living soul in the square aside from a pioneer sitting on a bench. I paid no attention to him at first, who knows how many returns were here, but he called out to me. Hey, Semyon. Who are you calling Semyon? Darn you, I hissed under my breath, but the pioneer wasn't calling down. You must be looking for someone, but she didn't go that way. I froze in place, but immediately turned around and quickly walked up to him. So you saw her? Of course I did. A disgusting smile appeared on his face, a grin even, a savage one, expressing only one's superiority over their opponent. Spit it out then, we're not playing a guessing game here. Wait, why are you in such a rush for? Sit down, let's talk calmly for a start. I have nothing to talk to you about. The pioneer thought for a moment, then rummaged in the pockets of his shorts, took out a pack of Cosmos, and held it out to me. Want some? Where did you get it? I don't remember regular pioneers having cigarettes. Although so much has happened in the last 24 hours that has never happened before, I slowly drew out one cigarette and gave the pack back to the strange pioneer. He turned it around in his hands for a while and then tossed it back to me. Nah, take it. I quit. And that filthy smile again. The heck with it though. I need to go catch that insolent girl. So, tell me where she went. Why do you need that poor girl? She is insignificantly small on the scale of the universe and maybe doesn't even exist in this one. He thought for a moment, then continued. Same goes for you. Are you sure you exist? And even if so, that your existence here and now is the real one? Maybe you really existed before and now you don't? Or you will exist in the future and at the moment it's just a doll standing before me? The word doll fired painfully in my head as if a .45 caliber Colt blew my brains out, splattering the contents of the brain pan over the area. Yeah, and it's Flavia's turn to clean tomorrow. I involuntarily smirked inside. Who are you? The insolent girl that spat in my face had long flown out of my head together with my brain. Who are you? I'm asking you. I grabbed him by the neckerchief and jerked him towards me with such strength that rag groaned and almost tore. But the pioneer only smiled. Calm down. Don't worry that much. It's impossible to die here. You should know. You've done that hundreds of times. I jumped back from him in terror. This phrase. I've certainly heard it before. No, not even that. I've been saying it myself. A long time ago in one of my previous lives. Because you are Semyon. And I'm Semyon. Because you are me. The bench in the Pioneer abruptly zoomed 100 meters away from me, as if I was falling from a roller coaster, only this disgusting grin remaining before my eyes. Oh, and then the world around was covered in darkness. Oh. Well, and then I disappeared. Just like that? Zhenya kept her eyes fixed on the book, but the story seemed to start to interest her. Why not? The timely departure is a great skill, you know, and I'm a master of it, if anything. Yeah, you're a master of everything. She put the book down and hugged me. Savia, who was clear swimming in our direction, seemed to notice it and turned around towards the beach. Wait, I didn't even get to the main part. And not here, after all. I shyly turned away from her. Zhenya clearly didn't like that and moved away from me. I'm tired of these stories of yours. They're always all one and the same. Let me tell you mine for a change. And what about, I wonder? Like how I got here, for example. I've heard it 100 times already, and I've heard yours 200. Virginia, Sovianok didn't start with our meeting and the checklist, because I always have, and will have my first day of the session after she has already spent a week in the camp. Do you know that feeling when the time has stopped, when you can't die, even if you really want to? Well, yeah, like here in this camp. No, it was always easier for me here. People behave more honestly, properly. No one really bullies anyone. There's none of, at the very least, that malice that was everywhere then, before. Do you remember? I didn't answer. I can just read books, talk to people, someone needs me, someone considers me a friend, I have responsibilities. It seemed like Zhenya was ready to burst into tears. Alright, why am I getting... Anyway, this one time I just woke up because of the excessive shaking of the 410 bus. Have you ever taken that bus? I nodded. Have you taken the bus? Okay. Well, I never did, but we don't even have bus routes with 2 digits in our town. I didn't really understand what had happened yet, and the girl sitting near me says to me, Hi, my name's Savia. Savia? What's Savia? Savia who? Of course I was confused, but I tried not to show it. Then we arrived at camp, and the things started to get stirred up. And then it happened again. And then again. Zhenya sighed. And I've seen you many times, you with Slavia, Alyssa, Lena. She quietly gritted her teeth. But that wasn't me. We've been over that 100 times already, and now you're starting again. No, not you. You're all like peas in a pod. I was in your camps too, right? But she was not at all like the real me. Exactly. Distinguishing the original from the fake is not as hard as you think. Yes, because the fakes get renewed every time and the originals stay. It's not like that at all. As if you know everything. What does it matter? I hugged Zhenya tight and closed my eyes. Semyon's telling her a story. I woke up covered in sweat, my heart beating like mad. The rising sun was unbearably hot, though it was no later than 6 or 7 a.m. by the looks of it. What happened to me? The sinister pioneer, what was that? Maybe it was just a dream, a hallucination? Right now I'm ready to believe in that, in anything at all. Someone was slowly walking towards me across the square. I stared and recognized the camp leader. So you're at it again, she said threateningly, leaning over me. That made me get up from the bench and make a step back. And here I thought yesterday was just a misunderstanding, and I'm just speechless to do something like that to a girl. What is she even talking about? What girl? What does she need from me, darn it? At least the camp leader looked like usual, and that calmed me down a little. So, answer me now. You think you'll just get away with it this time? I'll call the police. I'll even take it to the secretary of the All-Union Comsomol Organization. She was puffing so much she even went red and started to pant. In my camp, you. In general, this behavior from the camp leader didn't surprise me one bit, but I felt uneasy because my mind was still returning to the events of the past night, leaving a depressing, painful feeling close to embarrassment about something done while in a drunken haze. The strangest thing was that I didn't care about the camp leader shouting aloud a mere meter away from me. Shut up already, okay? Shouting like there's a fire. What do you even know about problems? You think you've got a problem here? Oh. A pioneer was on the roof. What a disaster. I grit my teeth and cast a menacing look at the camp leader that sent a flicker of fear across her face. How about I tell about real problems, not those in your little imaginary world? Though, just go to hell. You're a waste of time. On the other hand, I always have more than enough of that time. A frightful thought suddenly flashed through my head. What if everything will always be like this now? What if I lose control over this world forever? Any pioneer girl will be able to spit in my face at will, and the camp leader will get to lecture me like electronic. But that's worse than death. Anyway, I gotta go. I flung at the camp leader who still hadn't recovered from shock and went wherever my legs would carry me. He's so mean here. But really, what is death for me personally? It seems like I've long since ceased to understand the very concept of the idea. Because if I can't disappear, if I'm destined to live through the very same week in this camp time and time again, then maybe death is losing myself, losing my power over the world, having uncertainty ahead. But that's even worse than the fate of any regular human. Their life is a game with an unhappy ending and with no ability to save your progress. My life is a game with no ending, with the ability to save. What would they call such a life? If only I could remember how is it to be a regular man. They would probably call this hell. In this particular cycle, where even the soulless dolls humiliate me, is its last circle. I was ready to lose my mind, if only I could. All the thoughts I'd been diligently driving away from myself suddenly surged with a new strength, returning long-forgotten feelings. And who turned out to be right in the end. I was always convincing myself that I am right, not them, because I am alive and they disappeared while chasing empty illusions. But they disappeared and I stayed. And who got the better part of it in the end? An already familiar voice, sicker, sounded nearby. Looks like you've understood something today. I know who you are. My voice sounded calm, but the heart was beating madly like never before. Oh, really? It'd be interesting to hear. You were the same as me, a pioneer, but from another cycle. But didn't you always think that the others were no more? After Semyon drove off on the bus that time, you thought that you were alone now in all these endless camps. I could be wrong. As hard as it was for me to admit it, that possibility existed. You wrong? Why, that cannot be. Whatever, what do you need? Did you just come to mock me for what I've been doing before? You're saying that as if you feel guilty. I don't feel guilty in any way. That's none of your business. Just answer the question. Well, maybe you are right. The pioneer thought for a moment. Though it's a sin to laugh at the miserable. I suddenly felt a distinct desire to punch that disgusting smile off his face. After all, am I a trembling creature, or do I have the right? Who allowed him to impose his ways in my world? Get lost. I shouted, jumping up and swung my fist at him as hard as I could. But my hand just flew through a haze that disappeared in the air, and I lost my balance, painfully falling to the ground. When the pain abated a bit, I felt as if someone was standing nearby. And indeed, from the bushes was peeping a sassy little pioneer girl. You got what you deserved. She stuck her tongue out. Guess you're not as brave with your peers. Oh, you. It was so unexpected that I even forgot what I wanted to say. Doesn't it surprise you at all that a man just dissolved into thin air right in front of you? Well, things happen. Maybe it's some trick. It doesn't matter anyways. You got what you had coming. Not wanting to put up with these insults any longer, I abruptly jumped up and rushed at her. But the girl was skillfully running through the trees while I had to spend precious seconds dodging the branches that slashed at my face, hillocks sticking out as well as invisible claws. Earning a couple bumps and scratching my hands bloody, I finally caught her at the square. What? Not so fast after all, are you? That's not as easy as running from some half-wits. Let me go! Get off! The pioneer girl was crying. Suddenly I felt a strong bullet to my back. Everything swam before my eyes and the ground came at me with tremendous speed. So you're into children too? That's it. Get him. A bullet to the belly. I instinctively covered my head with my arms. Oh. Not so cool now, are you? Another hit. By that point, I was ready to lose consciousness, but gathering the last bits of strength, raised myself onto my elbows and rolled several meters to the side. Blood was flowing into my eyes, turning the crowd of pioneers beating me up into a continuous red haze. This is, of course, not the best educational method, but quite an effective one, I think. From who I heard those where at the camp came the camp leader's voice. What are you doing? Enough. What? I don't know why he's being so mean there. It's weird. Did your name dog quick shot? Zhenya was sitting near me, nearly swinging her feet. Yeah, but I hardly remember what it was about by now. Windmills. All of your stories are like fights with windmills. What mills, please? And even if there is no mill, you will surely build one because you just have to fight something. You're saying that as if I'm some kind of masochist, aren't you? She smiled slyly. Zhenya, what would I do without her? Sometimes I thought that everything that's happened with me in this camp wasn't that bad if this reward was waiting for me at the end. I pulled her to myself and kissed her. Oh, wait, what if someone sees? Zhenya blushed and resisted, but more for show of anything. It doesn't concern you often. No, but anyway, where was I? The windmills? Yeah, I mean, no, you still can't settle down. Like if you had ridden that bus that time with all the normal people. And wouldn't have met you. As if you've been meeting me before. Always Slavia, Alyssa, Zhenya. She griped. See, that means I've done everything right. Heck with you, alpha male with a harem, my foot. Let's stop talking about the past. We've got a whole life ahead of us. Hey, you alive? The cold water splashed onto my face, and with difficulty, I managed to open my bunged-up eye. Over me was leaning a pioneer. You again? What? They didn't finish me off, and you decided to help? Well, go ahead then. Get on with it. Somewhere deep inside, I was even happy for such a turn of events. Finally, this broken, vicious circle will be torn apart. No, you don't understand. I'm not him. Who are you then? I didn't care already. It would be so nice to die now, end this loop, and go on to a new one. I guess never before did I want so hard for the endless cycles of my life to continue. The only important thing is for them to obey the long-established rules. Don't you understand? The pioneer said with anguish. No, I don't play these games anymore. Really, did they decide to place me in the shoes of that idiot? Is this some kind of game and I'm a green noob for them? Not on my server. And anyway, I don't care. I tried to get up, but the pain made me just moan and lean against the nearby trunk. Although, if I'll have to spend 5.5 more days in this darn loop, I obviously have to make certain compromises. Okay, I don't care who you are or why you are here, but if you really want to help, I won't refuse. If he really is the one he wants to look like, then I can expect help from him. Yes, of course. Bring me something to drink then. The pioneer quickly jumped up and disappeared behind the trees. Did you run to the canteen? What an idiot. The time was dragging treacherously slowly. I lost the phone, either during the fight or even before that, so I couldn't tell how much time passed since the moment the pioneer ran for the water. But in any case, he should have been back already. My injuries were hurting unbearably. It seemed like I was starting to get a fever. Could that be an infection? I could simply die. They could at least have beaten me to death. But no, I have to lie here and wait for the end in agony. Just you wait. Next time I'll show you. I'll show you all. The fear of death ceased to exist for me simply because one can only fear something that scares him. In my case, death would be a salvation. Though I could hardly believe that, more likely the next time everything will repeat itself, which means I'll have to struggle, have to fight for myself, for my life. Same as the first times. To do everything to not become a whiner and a snot-nose like that one. Barely managing to get up on my feet, I stumbled towards the camp. It was getting dark. I should have probably asked the pioneer what happened after I lost consciousness during the beating at the square. Maybe they're looking for me, or they think I'm already dead. In any case, I should be careful. Right now, the very skills obtained during this time spent in all these endless loops will be useful, but a one-handed, one-legged cripple hardly makes a good fighter. Oh, At first glance, the square looked empty. No pioneers, no birds, none of the squirrels that plentifully inhabited the forest around the camp. And the air was ringing with a dangerous silence, like the lull before a fight, or like a minefield bypassed by both people and beasts. Take a step and you'll be blown to pieces. If only it was really so easy. But I can't just stand and wait. I have to get to the infirmary, wash and bandage my wounds, drink a painkiller and antibiotics. The first steps through the square were difficult to take, more because of the oppressive tension in my battle wounds. Oh. I somehow dragged myself to the end of it, walked along the narrow pathway, reached the infirmary, and had already started to mess with the lock when I suddenly heard a familiar rustle in the bushes nearby. Certainly that is not a beast or bird, that's a human. Though I understood well that the rampaging pioneers won't hide themselves, they act openly now. I don't know who's hiding there, but you better get out, or else. Or else what? In this condition, I can hardly even pose more of a threat than that arrogant little girl. It's just me. The shy pioneer almost whispered, coming out of her cover. Oh, it's you? I asked sarcastically. Alone? And where are the others? Though, yes, you alone will be sufficient. No, I can go if I'm disturbing you. Stay, things can't get any worse anyway. I was vainly messing with the lock. Of course, it wasn't hard for me to pick it with even a toothpick or a match, but for that I needed healthy fingers, while mine were all covered with hematomas and bruises. Their every second joint were dislocated. The most complicated action I am capable of now is holding a pioneer flag and idly swinging it over my head. A dumb pastime on its own, but the local pioneers can make me do worse. Maybe I can help? How? With moral support? I've got a... She stopped mid-sentence and held out a bunch of keys to me. How? Yes, I didn't expect something like this, but wasn't really surprised. I had other things on my mind. I took them from Slavia. Just like that? You want to tell me she gave them to you without even asking why you needed them? Well, I said I don't feel well and didn't want to bother her, so I could go to the infirmary by myself. Yeah, great pretext, slyness, archness, and pretense. They say that behind every strong man stands a strong woman. I remembered about the second pack of Cosmos that the pioneer gifted to me. The cigarettes turned out to be considerably crumpled, but I still managed to find a couple of intact ones. Okay, the keys will really be useful. That was smart of you. Thank you. The girl smiled almost unnoticeably. What if she really isn't hiding a knife behind her back? Where are these thoughts even coming from, though? The presumption of innocence had never worked in this world so far, and especially now deeming everyone around to be hostile, a priority would be the most correct thing to do. I carefully looked the girl up and down. What? Is there something wrong with me? I just don't even know. You better tell me. Is everything right with you or not? I don't understand you. The pioneer girl was clearly embarrassed and upset. Oh, well, she's at least pretending to be good. I should use it. It will be hard to bandage all my wounds by myself with unending arms. Don't mind it if you really want to help. The infirmary was brightly illuminated by the fluorescent lamps hanging from the ceiling. With some difficulty, I clambered onto the couch and tried to take my shirt off. Let me help. Okay, go on. On the right and the left sides around my belly were reddening, terrible-looking patches of bruises. I must have broken several ribs, or maybe it's the other way around, and only a few of them remained unbroken. Every movement echoed with pain inside. Arg, can't you be more careful? Sorry. The pioneer started to undress me, zealously even. Finally, I was left in only my shorts. Wait, we have to wipe the wounds with iodine, disinfect them. Yeah, sure, so I would look like a brown bear? No thanks, let's do it with hydrogen peroxide. It's in the desk drawer. The pioneer didn't argue. Though hydrogen peroxide or iodine, it still stings the same. I had to make an inhuman effort to not shout out loud. Does it hurt? What do you think? I hissed through the clenched teeth. Then the pioneer started to bandage me. Every time she had to grab the bandage on the other side, she was almost pressing herself against me. Here, Lena said with the feeling of duty well done. She's overreacting. The thought flashed in my head. Yes, that's better. Not that I really felt better. Rather, I was just more certain that I will be almost healed no later than tomorrow. But that will be tomorrow. I tried to get up to walk through the drug cabinet, but my head suddenly started spinning and I had to sit on the couch again. Get me an Elgin and, well, did I really forget the contents of the local medicine chest? I raised a hand to my forehead. It was hot. Something for the tetanus, I don't know. It's written there in the instructions. The girl bustled about and soon returned with a pile of multicolored pills. What's that? Like you asked. I was taking a risk, of course, but it clearly couldn't get any worse. And water to wash it down. I swallowed the pills and barely managed to stretch myself out on the couch. The pioneer girl sat on the cat chair nearby and started to look at me patiently. What does she need after all? The suspense was tiring. I just wanted to sleep, to drift off and forget about this mad world for at least some time. Or better yet, wake up in another one. Let them end what they've begun and finish me off. Or this shy girl. And how long are you planning on sitting here? If I'm disturbing you, I can leave. No, you're not. Suddenly in my head appeared a wild, but not senseless idea. You can even help. The girl gave me an inquiring look. Take that jar, see? I barely raised a hand and pointed at the needed medicine. Now draw a full syringe from it. Oh. Oh. You mean you're serious about it? Zhenya's face was burning, and her voice sounded not even surprised, scared. Quite. No, you must really be out of your mind. What's the big deal? Even in the worst case, the new loop is in a couple of days. No one will even remember about it. I will. That's enough already. So your answer is no? My answer is stop bullying me. She tried to get up, but I firmly caught her by the hands. Hey. Instead of trying to break free, Zhenya laughed and pressed herself against me. Are you really not joking? What if we do get out of here after all? You haven't talked about that for a while. I haven't, but I am now. But if in the real world you expect to just forget and pretend you haven't said anything now, then. No, both here and in the real world, my words are sincere. Even so. It's just hard to believe, so suddenly. What's sudden about it? How long have we known each other? I've long since lost count of the loops. I'm still counting though. Zhenya said quietly and hugged me even tighter. The girl obediently filled the syringe with the colorless transparent liquid and handed it to me. No, when did you ever see a patient giving himself injections? But I don't know how to. There's nothing difficult about it. It's just that for me in this world, there was still the one and only taboo, suicide. I was ready, and even wanted, to die at the hands of mad pioneers, or a lethal injection, but ending my own life. For some reason, it seemed that I shouldn't. I couldn't even explain why, and never tried to check. Maybe it was all because of that fear of uncertainty that had possessed me in the past 24 hours, or maybe it's all much simpler, and the reason is the simple self-preservation instinct. Regardless, I was sure that if I'm killed by someone else, I will immediately wake up in a new loop, but ready for everything now. The only problem was the fact that this girl clearly wasn't going to help me with my voluntary quietus. No, what if I do something wrong? It's better to call the nurse. I'll go. I'll be back soon. The nurse was the last thing I needed here right now. Wait. I barely raised myself up on an elbow and grabbed her by the hand. Don't you worry. I've done it hundreds of times, and I'll teach you too. There's nothing difficult about it. The girl wavered. First, take the tourniquet. Wait, what? Why would she need a tourniquet? It's used when taking blood. Okay, don't take the tourniquet. The pioneer girl laid the tourniquet on the table near me. I moved my left hand to the side to make it more convenient for her. Maybe we shouldn't after all? I won't even feel anything. Her hands were shaking, the needle jumping left and right. If she misses the vein, it won't be pretty. Euthanasia through the drugs from a Soviet medical kit is a precarious pleasure as is. Don't look at me like that, the girl suddenly said. I'm looking at you, Hal. Don't get distracted. I can't do it like this. Oh, here we go. I made a helpless sigh and jerked my hand away from her. Okay, forget it. I'll just sleep and be alright tomorrow. Don't forget to turn the lights off and close the door when you leave. The girl obediently headed towards the exit, but froze halfway. Are you really in a lot of pain? I really am. What does it matter now? I'll just endure it. I could do it. Only if you close your eyes. So if I close them, what will change? It'll be easier for me, like you're sleeping. Her eyes smiled. Okay, I'll close them. Doesn't seem to be anything scary. The girl walked up to me and took the syringe. So? Yes. I closed my eyes, and at the same second, a thought flashed through my brain. Why am I even trusting her so blindly? Just half an hour ago, when standing on the porch, I was thinking very differently. Something pressed me to the couch with a strength that made me unable to move my arms or legs. This pioneer girl with the tourniquet in her hands leaned over me. A second later, it tightened around my neck. Ugh, what are you? I wheezed. Even if this is the death I was urging her for, it shouldn't be like this, not being strangled with a tourniquet. No, wait, I'm not ready. The pioneer is pulling ever harder. A mad grimace on her face, mouth grinning, a devilish smile, sunken eyes opened wide and even seeming to glow with some natural light. I vainly tried to break free. The injuries and fatigue didn't let me. Here comes the end of Zhenya. Everything's getting blurry in front of my eyes. I close them, but the imprint of that crazy grimace is still left on the inner side of my eyelids. Oh no. At the edge of my mind, I hear the creak of the opening door. The devilish pioneer loosens her grip, and then the face of another girl is already waiting over me. Let's go, now! The familiar voice whispers to me. Someone helped me get up. I lean on them and stumbled away from the infirmary. Whoa. This is pretty scary. He is not doing very well with all of this. Just a whole lot of really violent things are happening. We were going slowly, often stumbling and bumping into everything. I was passing out and coming to all the time, but just couldn't raise my head and was only looking at my feet. The paving stone in front of the infirmary gave way to the asphalt of the square, and then it to earth covered by fallen leaves and fir needles. At last we stopped, and with difficulty I sank to the ground and looked around. Seems like the same clearing the pioneer dragged me to. I'm walking in some circles today. I tried to smirk but coughed immediately. The back of my hand got covered in blood. Here, drink. The girl handed me a cold flask. I barely took several gulps and looked at my savior. She seemed to be the same familiar girl, but something was out of tune with her usual image. After all, a smile suited this pioneer girl more than the expression of cold determination that was frozen on her face. I didn't even really know what to say. I've already been mistaken once about that maniac in the infirmary and let myself relax for a second. Now I'm going to have to be wary till the end this time. Though the unbearable pain in my whole body and my spinning head didn't let me concentrate even for a moment. What's this all? Shh, no need to talk. You'll get worse. I know it all. The girl said and looked at me carefully as if, contrary to her own words, she was waiting for an answer. I know everything about you. I'm actually also real. How the heck are you real? We already met yesterday. I haven't noticed anything real about you. I coughed up blood again. Is this one of your jokes again? I continued quieter. You can't just kill me. You can't, right? You have to torture, to mock me, want me to go mad. And then I realized that all of this has already happened once, though now our roles were swapped. No, it's not like that at all. You got it wrong. You weren't talking to me yesterday. Oh, why am I explaining? It's like you don't understand yourself. The pioneer girl frowned. Didn't you ever meet your own copies? There definitely was logic in her words that I couldn't find a flaw in right away. Well, maybe. And why do you need all this? To help me, I mean? Because you are the same as me. Real. Isn't it natural? Wouldn't you do the same in my place? If only she knew what I've done before. But what if she isn't lying? After all, I did meet people other than me in this world before. Thanks, if so. The girl didn't answer anything, only smiled. But I still don't understand. How did you? I mean, I've met you 1,000 times before, and all of them were bots. It's hard to explain, and there's no time now. No time. Are you in a hurry for something? Not only me. Soon we will all escape here. You mean from this loop to a new one? No, I mean from this camp for good. What do you mean? I broke into a dumb smile. The very thought of there being an exit from this place had seemed absurd to me for a long time now. Don't tell me you want to stay here forever. Well, I've kind of been here forever already. I propose, you reject, okay. No, wait, you just got me wrong. Though why wrong, actually? Am I really ready to go back to the real world? It's alien and hostile to me now, as this camp has become my home. But that home lies in ruins, robbed and burnt. Will I be able to build it anew? Yeah, so what do you want then? Okay, but how? You don't propose I just take your word for it, right? If you really understand my situation, you won't refuse to explain. Fine, but not now. We have to make sure there's no pursuit. Wait. But the pioneer wasn't listening to me, and a second later she disappeared in the vivid greenery. Just wonderful. Whoa. But I can't sue. So, What a pity. A serious oversight on our housekeeper's side. Oh, look who's talking. What are you going to make the rings from? Are you maybe planning on just reeling the wire of the induction coil around your finger? I've got a couple of ideas. Well, I'm listening. Zhenya looked at me carefully and smiled, anticipating my failure. However, even before I met her, I had acquired some very different skills, and crafting together a couple of rings wouldn't be very hard for me. The only question is the equipment. You can't find a jeweler's instrument in the camp. So I simply wouldn't have had time to prepare everything in a mere week. If not for the Cybernetics Club. If you rummage through the bulk of the equipment stored there, could definitely find enough fielding for 2 simple rings. And keeping the local cyberneticists occupied with something for a couple of days will certainly not be a problem, especially considering it's not the first time for me. That's a surprise. Even so, Zhenya got embarrassed. In a week's time, they'll disappear. You know we won't be able to take anything with us. So what? What's more important to you? 2 pieces of metal or... No, of course not. But if we are going to do it the way it should be, then the dress too. Zhenya's eyes sparkled. There were no problems with the suit. I knew for sure that several guys in the camp had pants and a jacket, maybe even of a dark gray color. A summer dress would look good on Zhenya, but the wedding dress was her idea in the end. If she predictably rejected right away. It was totally. Are you serious? Looks like she got tired of arguing already. No, but you can always ask one of the girls. I think that's the best option. Zhenya grew red, pouted, and turned away. Then go ahead and ask him yourself, and take measurements of yourself because you'll be the one wearing it. How do you even manage I could do that? I'll just walk up to, say, Slavia, and ask her, could you please sew a wedding dress for me? How about you say that it's for a costume contest? No, that's kind of silly. For a costume ball. Zhenya was surprised, but didn't start arguing right away. I'll get the idea through the camp leader. Don't worry, and there will be nothing to be shy about. A wedding as a part of the performance. We'll make sure an electronic perform man's first walk in outer space. Miku will cosplay Lennon on an armored car, and me and you will marry. And what historical event do you want to make this a reenactment of? What does it matter? Could even be the marriage of Ekaterina II and Peter III. Oh, what an unenviable fate is waiting for you then, darling. Zhenya smirked. No matter, it's just an example. See, you're joking already. Still, that's somehow... Trust me. Okay, if you think it'll all work out. Oh, wedding. Oh, alright. It started to dawn. The fever made its presence known and seemed to get even stronger. Apparently, the real pioneer girl got lost somewhere in the forest. Looks like I've been ditched again. Though I wasn't too hopeful this time, I just wanted to get everything back the way it was, not come back to reality. Maybe it's only been an hour on the other side, maybe centuries. It doesn't matter anymore. I felt like a comatose man who wakes up and can't recognize the world around him. The horizon was burning with a bright scarlet glow, showering the sky with a flaming aurora. What if it wasn't just the inhabitants that had changed in this world? In a mere few minutes, the beams of the blazing sun will get here and burn me up, together with this whole Sovianok. I wish the real pioneer girl would come back. It's better to settle in a new world than burn alive in a familiar one. More so because nobody there will know about everything that happened with me here, about everything I did myself. You seem to be in deep thought about something. A familiar voice sounded nearby. My voice. What do you want? I was surprised by his appearance, and even scared a bit. I had enough problems with the Madden Pioneers, and had stopped even thinking about my doubles. Although, my doubles? How long has it been since I called them that? Right, for me there was always me, and they were them. We have nothing in common. We are different people, even if we were one at some point. Maybe you're thinking, when did it all go wrong? Here he was mistaken. I wasn't thinking about that. Tormenting yourself with doubts, asking yourself questions you'll never find answers to. I just want this all to be all be over, and your presence is hardly helping with that. Everything's long over, if you mean it that way. Oh, really? That's not particularly noticeable. For everyone but you, that day in the bus you made the wrong decision and died. I looked over my body carefully. It hurts, which means I'm alive. I don't look much like a dead man. You think it's really all that simple, that movie you like? Do you want to remember the moment when the life left you? Remember your last breath, the point of transition, the first moments on a new level of existence? I don't really get you. Then that means that I've already died then, in reality. No, you've been given a chance, but you didn't use it, and ended up in your own personal hell limbo, if you wish. Oh, look at you reinventing the wheel, as if I didn't know that. You knew that, but you didn't know that you're not alone here now, and there's no exit. I knew that. Or at least I'd assumed too, so what about you then? I'm not here. I'm just your hallucination. The forest resounded with his disgusting laughter. This is all painfully familiar, but why is it repeating itself now? Is it true when they say that troubles never come singly? Be my guest. Be my guest. I closed my eyes and even turned away just to be sure. Don't treat him like that. He's one of us too, or at least he was once. The familiar voice sounded a bit different. Now 2 pioneers were standing in the clearing in front of me. You have to fight fire with fire. He's already been through enough fighting. I wouldn't say it's enough yet. They were arguing and the reality lost all meaning to me. Look, he's lost his mind for good already. That's nothing special. It'll pass, like in that story that we told Oyana, signed with the name of a non-existent friend. The mad regain their sanity, and the sane go mad. And then that devilish laughter again. You think this is his first time, isn't it? I know for sure that it isn't. He thinks he remembers everything. He's ready for everything. He knows the behavior of every pioneer beforehand, but he forgot so much. Maybe forgot the most important thing. Enough already! These 2 suddenly stepped aside, and the cat-eared one came forward. Oh, I was always kind of wary of her, because I thought that there was nothing good to expect from her. Moreover, somewhere deep inside of me, she caused some kind of animalistic, primal fear, like the fear of the dark. And I never believed her stories either. Like that she's our subconscious, its hidden part. What nonsense. Don't you see how bad off he is? You're no use, like you. She pointed her finger at the evil pioneer. Hurry to the infirmary for pills. What pills? He was a bit startled. I don't know. Aren't you the smartest one here? Figure it out. The pioneer sighed helplessly and dragged himself in the direction of the camp. And you? She looked at the good one. And you? Well, find something to do too. Honestly, your whining is sickening. It only makes things worse. But I only wanted to help. But you're not helping, so go. She waved her hand and made an expression that made a thought flash through my head, just like a grumpy cat. The pioneer didn't argue and followed his double. So what now? I asked without much enthusiasm. I've been tricked more than once, and I'm not going to believe her now. Especially her. I would never have thought of that of all the local inhabitants, it would be the cat-eared one to come in to help me, even if only in words. After all, she remembers the previous times, remembers our quarrel in the bus. You think you'll be able to make an idiot of me again? Gathering the last bits of strength, I raised myself, my eyes darkening from pain. But where will I go? I should have taken the steerage myself. Why did I even decide that a suicide here is the end? Hey! The cat-eared one jumped to my side with one leap and held me so I wouldn't fall. Do you really want me to believe you're helping me? And what do you think I'm doing now? After all, I always help you all. Yeah, sure. I sank onto the ground again and let out a heavy sigh. There's really nowhere for me to go in this condition. So, when will your pioneers return? Soon, she answered vaguely. Okay, let's sit. Let's wait. I've got nothing to lose anymore. Oh, the whole camp gathered at the square. Oyana was chasing an electronic in a vain attempt to take away his very crumpled cardboard cosmonaut helmet. The scene of the man's first walk into open space was not without some amusing incidents. Genda's monument served as an improvised rocket for the cyberneticist, and Shurik managed to retrieve and fall from it at the most crucial moment. It's a good thing that the distance to the ground was significantly shorter than the near-Earth orbit, and it met him like in the song, with the grass near home. Stop running! You'll kill yourself for good! Olga Dmitrievna was wailing. I'm not even sure what concerned her more in the situation, the cyberneticist or the image of the camp that had no access 365 days a year since the beginning of time. Zhenya was standing near and tugging on my sleeve, but I was too carried away with the spectacle and didn't notice right away. So, what? Are you sure we should be doing this? But you wanted this yourself. I didn't want anything. You just suggested, and I agreed. We've discussed this 100 times already, and you know full well that it's not for real. Oh, so it's not for real, huh? She said dreadfully. That's not what I mean. We're just in this world, don't forget it. In a couple of days, everything will repeat itself, and no one will remember this. Yes, but I will. So who are you embarrassed by the most? Those around you or yourself? Zhenya blushed and said nothing. Okay, go change already. Okay, go change already. Or Dmitrievna commanded us. Ready? Zhenya nodded. Ooh. Oh, whoa. Whoa. 10 minutes later, a strange sight for the regular pioneer camp could be seen at the square. Oh, what am I saying? It was strange even for Sovietnok. And I felt strange too standing in the middle of a crowd of pioneers in an old Soviet costume off someone else's back. Not a formal tailcoat, of course, but still better than shorts and a short sleeve shirt. Wow, Warrior Zhenya was apparelled in the hastily custom one's wedding dress. She looks pretty. In another situation, I'd say she looks foolish, but not now. Now this dress seemed to be more beautiful than any attire from the pompous fashion shops. So what scene are you playing now? I forgot. The camp leader whispered into my ear. Olga Dmitrievna, what does it matter already? Let's start. Okay. Zhenya was standing as red as a lobster, not knowing where to put her eyes. She seemed now to strongly want to look at me. Everything will be alright, I said quietly. Miki was merrily smiling in the crowd of pioneers, as if this was her own wedding, a bit foolishly maybe, but sincerely. Lena was blushing as usual, but sometimes casting careful glances at us. Alyssa's whole look was saying that she'd been dragged here against her will, and she would have been playing the guitar or just sleeping if only she could. Though Ulyana was clearly thrilled with the whole spectacle, children don't need much to be happy. As for Slavia, she seemed to be really happy for us and smiled kindly. Let's get this over with already. Looks like any more and Zhenya will be embarrassed to death. Okay, we are ready. I nodded to the camp leader. Now I had to say what they usually say at weddings. Of course, I didn't know the exact words and managed to safely forget everything I prepared beforehand. I promise, I started, my voice shaking, in sickness and oldness. No, that's not how it was. What are you mumbling? We can't hear anything. Ulyana Miro shouted. Be quiet, you, or we'll put you in Zhenya's place. The threat had an immediate effect, and Ulyana fell silent. Well, that's... Just a minute ago, I could have sworn I was absolutely calm, and now I couldn't say a word. I could only guess what Zhenya was feeling. I gathered my courage. I promised to be with you for better and for worse, for richer and for poorer, in sickness and in health, until death do us part. The pioneers, joyfully clamoring until now, stopped talking immediately. It got so quiet I could hear my heart beating furiously. Zhenya was still standing, her eyes dropped to the ground. Well, now you. She pumped the air into her lungs and pattered. Agreed to marry you, promised to be with you, sickness and for poorer. Here. The crowd exploded with laughter, though for me, Zhenya's words sounded quite serious. And get it over with already. And what about now you can kiss the bride? I asked with a playful tone. Zhenya's eyes sparkled, making it clear that the situation was good enough even without kisses. I guess she's right, and we'll have time for that anyway. Good job, thanks everyone. Olga Dmitrievna was shouting, Electronic came forward to the camera. He looked as if he would be much happier having a crowbar in his hands instead. Oh, but I like kisses though. Kiss her! A couple of shots to remember. Heck no. Then you bowed at him. Oh, come on, for the family album. She hesitated a little, but gave the semblance of a smile after all. It all turned out as it should be, better than it should be. For the first time in all this time, Zhenya looked me right in the eyes, smiled, and said, yeah, I guess. Ooh. Yay! 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 I woke up when the day was already drawing to a close. The fever had abated, and I found an injection mark on my right hand. Did the cat-eared one really help me? At first, I couldn't even believe there's somebody here capable of a kind deed after all that's happened in the last few days. With some difficulty, I got up and headed towards the camp. After all, I definitely have nothing to do in the forest, and it doesn't look like it can get any worse. Time and again, a thought was appearing in my head. I have to endure, I have to live through this week, and then it'll be easier. I will recover physically, and there will even be some time to recover mentally. Just don't despair, don't give up, don't be like him. I'd rather die than live like that. Pioneers with backpacks, bags, and parcels were scampering back and forth through the square. The camp leader was standing near Genda like a small monument, arms akimbo and shouting formidably. I froze on the spot, not knowing what to expect. This world is in continuous motion. It changes before my very eyes. Just yesterday, they were ready to kill me, and what about today? Hey, Senyan! The camp leader shouted and looked at me intimidatingly. Who, me? Are you addressing me? Why aren't you packed up yet? Packed up? I'm ready to be packed off. Today's the last day of the session. Did you forget again? Packing up, off you go. I didn't want to argue with her. I just didn't have the strength, and I stopped being surprised a long time ago, so I just flung out. Is it okay that I look like this? And pointed at my torn clothes and the bruises all over me. What happened to you? The camp leader sincerely wondered. Were you running through the forest and fell? What are you talking about? What forest? Why would I even need to run through the forest? Okay, it's not my business. We are leaving in half an hour. If you're late again, you'll stay for another session. She smirked. Stay here for another session. Note, this definitely lies outside of my plans. Anyways, a new chance to get out of here appeared, even if in such a dumb way. I slowly dragged myself towards the bus stop. The whole camp crowded in front of the bus. Everyone's waiting for the camp leader. After all, following rules contradicts her own rules. Oh, what happened to you? The pioneer from the infirmary inquired maternally. Are you alright? Need a bandage? Why stop at that? Offer me a splint. Must have fallen into a ditch and cried his eyes out. Sure, look who's talking. What if wolves got him? Only if those wolves were the local pioneers. I was just sitting quietly on the roadside, my head lowered onto my hands. I didn't even want to think about what will happen tomorrow, whether I will get into a new loop, or it will all end once and for all. Or maybe there's something else waiting for me ahead. Something better? Okay. When I woke up, Zhenya wasn't nearby. Must have gone to take care of some personal business. Why does she need this whole pioneer game? Especially on the wedding night. I stretched myself and yawned with pleasure. Oh well, at least I can surprise her. Pick some flowers in the forest. Not much of a gift, but I know she likes May lilies. I could never understand why women like flowers. Why not nettles or hogweed then? Those are plants too, and they are nice in their habitats, not pots or vases. Though, what does it matter if every time I gifted flowers to Zhenya, her face lit up with a bright smile? Of course it might have been not because of the flowers alone. With a bouquet in my hands, I filed into the library, loudly throwing the door open. Behind the librarian's table was sitting Alyssa, looking gloomily and leafing through some magazine. Oh, the newlywed has shown up, she muttered, looking at me sullenly. Hey, where's Zhenya? Dunno, asked me to sit here for her and went somewhere herself. Well, yes, my Zhenya can even persuade Alyssa. Okay, then I'll... And somehow she wasn't glowing with happiness at all. Alyssa said to my back. Where did Zhenya go? Maybe she decided to make me a surprise gift too. No, surprises are not her thing. It must simply be time for breakfast. I ran to the canteen. The pioneers were merrily clamoring inside. The dishes were clattering in the same merry manner. Even the usually gloom lady cook looked unusually merry today. I noticed Flavia and walked up to her. Hi, have you seen Zhenya? Wait, hi, have you seen Zhenya? Flavia looked at me with surprise, then got embarrassed and turned her eyes away. I think she went to the bus stop. The bus stop? Why? I don't know. You better ask her yourself. You'll still make it if you hurry. To the bus stop? To the bus stop. Huh. In a minute, I ran past the camp's gates and saw Zhenya standing at the road, her gaze directed somewhere far away to the horizon, past the plains and the forest, following the bright summer sun. A strange expression was on her face, sadness, anticipation, and anguish mixed together, but at the same time Zhenya looked so very different. I didn't recognize her. Okay. Better? No, I can believe this even less than the fact that tomorrow I'll return to the real world. Maybe it was better before? It seems like that pioneer was saying that I forgot a lot. But what exactly? Oh, hey, I was looking for you. That sounded silly, and my voice was trembling. I just had to say something, so I put a fake smile on and tried to talk in a friendly manner. What do you want? Zhenya responded coldly. I woke up and you were gone, so... Zhenya turned around with her eyes shining. I'm going, she said with a calm voice. Where? Home. But buses don't come here. Buses? What the heck? They do. Here, I made this for you. I handed her bouquet, which instantly ended up on the ground. I don't need anything from you. Yesterday, I don't want to know you. I don't know what happened, but I'm sure it was all your fault. What was my fault? Everything, the stupid marriage, and what happened during the night. But we agreed you wanted this yourself, remember, a couple weeks ago? I didn't even know you a couple weeks ago. Yeah, it all started back then. Or continued. I don't care anymore. I decided that I could be happy with Zhenya, but she disappeared just as she appeared, suddenly. Zhenya sitting not in the library, but at the canteen porch. It was so long ago. I lost my faith once. I stopped being human, but then I met her, and it almost seemed like life was giving me a second chance, albeit in this strange world. But then she was gone, and during the endless cycles I forgot everything. I went back to how I was before I first met her. I stopped being myself. Maybe he was right. What are you saying? We've known each other for... I don't even know how long we've known each other for. I don't know you, and I don't want to know you. But wait, we... Suddenly weakness hit me, and I dropped to my knees, just to avoid falling on my face. My ring felt very hot on my finger. I could feel the burning almost physically. Here, take it. Zhenya took something out of her pocket and threw it at me. I'm going for a walk. I twisted the thin engagement ring in my hands and started crying. I've never cried like this before. Not in this world. Not in the previous one. Oh, no. Oh. And everything ended. Forever. I guess something human remained in me, so I decided to forget everything, so as to not go completely insane. But now all my memories were here, and with them came the pain. It wasn't that bad. It had slowly weakened through time, but it was still tearing me apart. Almost as if I was being torn to pieces, and the only piece remaining was the one with my consciousness somehow in it. Not one, not half, only a sad coincidence, an acceptable error in the perfect equation of this world. Don't be so sad, bro. Some pioneer was sitting next to me. You again? Who, me? What difference does it make? You, him, that one, this one, you all look alike. He didn't respond. He just giggled. Did you come here to mock me again? It would have been better if you'd killed me that time. But you remembered everything. I remembered, and it's even worse because of that. You're the one at fault here. At fault for what? For trying to stop you from leaving with Cadier? I know that was you in that bus. There were still no emotions on the pioneer's face. Maybe it was, or it wasn't. What's the difference now? That means you managed to get out and came back just to mock me? Didn't you do the same? Stop pushing these morals onto me, for God's sake. I was down on my knees and looking at Zhenya, who was slowly getting further and further away. And there she went around a corner. I can't get her back. Anyway, I knew that this wasn't Zhenya. My real Zhenya disappeared yesterday. This was just a soulless doll that looked like her. But she looked just like her. The tale can't last forever. This world is a true hell, and I'm the demon. And demons can't ever reach true happiness. Just tell me one thing. I killed the silence. Why is everything like this? You had a chance from the very beginning, a choice. You could have done everything differently. Many did it right, different from how you and others alike did. Yeah, right. They all got out and are now living happily with their dolls in the real world. I grinned. Do you think that your life is better? He clearly emphasized the word life. If you're the one that took Zhenya away from me, rage was growing inside of me. I wanted to jump on him and beat him to death. But I wasn't sure that he existed in the physical world. But even then, what would change? You could have been happy with every other girl. That's the reason they're all here. I didn't expect such an answer. But none of them are real. The only ones were me, you, us all. Zhenya, that's only for you in your world. You know that there are many realities, and in every one of those you pick your own faith. Maybe there was only one Semyon, but this can't give him multiple possibilities. Someone managed to get out and now lives happily, like you said. Someone stuck like you. Can you tell me what this place is? Who are you? You can think of me as the camp leader. The pioneer gave a smile without any trace of mockery or irony and vanished. I felt a bit easier after hearing his words. The world was suddenly engulfed in fog, and a bright flash appeared in front of me. I looked around and realized that the pioneers were gone, as well as the bus. What again? Huh? The gates creaked silently, and I hid behind the pioneers' monument. Semyon walked onto the bus stop, one of the Semyons, but his facial expression was painfully familiar. I'd forgotten long ago that I can look exactly like that. He stared at the road for some time and headed back into the camp. Don't trust him, I said on an impulse. Who are you? Semyon looked surprised. Stop! Don't come any closer. All right, I'll stay here. Have you seen him? Talked to him? Who are you even talking about? You know who. Yes. What did he tell you? Nothing, really. Did he give you advice? Did he tell you what to do? Threaten you? No, nothing like that. Of course, he seemed pretty weird, but nothing more than that. Remember, he may not be alone, or more likely, he is alone, but you may meet many pioneers here who look like him. And what about you? Who are you? Who are you hiding from? You will understand in time. Just remember, the most important thing is to find the exit. Hmm. The wind became really strong for a moment, and the same flash appeared before me. Hmm. Hmm. And again, in an instant, the bus and pioneers appeared once again. I don't know what I told him everything for. I thought it was the right thing to do. If only I remembered what remorse and repentance were, then possibly that would be what I'm feeling. A pioneer should always be ready. A familiar voice sounded like thunder in the midst of a clear sky, and a familiar thump on my back brought me out of the catatonic state I was in. Zhenya was standing in front of me. I instantly knew that this was Zhenya, not the doll. But how? Those were the only words I could whisper. I don't know. She smiled, but her voice was trembling. Back then, after the wedding, I woke up in a different world. I thought that I'd lost you, and then there were so many loops that I nearly forgot. Sorry, I said quietly. Forgive me for everything. But that was okay. Then he came and said that he could guide me to the world you're in. I didn't believe it at first, but here I am. I jumped forward and hugged Zhenya. Forgive me, I'd forgotten everything. Forgotten you. I've done so many bad things to you. I didn't believe it, didn't hope for it. I'm sorry. You're going to suffocate me. She freed herself from my arms. But now I'm here, so everything is okay, she said through her tears. How can you be so calm? Because I always knew that we were going to be together. Zhenya raised her right hand, and on her finger I saw a ring that was woven out of Lily. I've lost mine, sorry. It's okay, we'll buy a new one. She smiled. Hey, hop onto the bus, you two. Logan and Mitrevna was screaming discontentedly. The bus was peacefully bouncing over the bumps and slowly driving towards the district center, or wherever it was going, really. You know, I can't believe that everything will end. I've gone through so much in the last week. And once again, you got the most interesting parts. Zhenya sulked. I don't think you'd like to exchange places with me. I can imagine, but it's still way more interesting than sitting in the library for days on end. You have weird ideas about interesting things. Did you think about it? About what? What will happen next? Tomorrow? We still need to meet somehow in the real world. Oh yeah, let me write your address down. Yeah, right, so you can send me a letter right now. I smiled. I'll memorize it, go ahead. We exchanged numbers and addresses. It's weird that we didn't have this idea earlier. I assume we never even hoped to get out of this world, and we just didn't want to remind ourselves about our past lives. What do you think it will be like? The usual? We just fall asleep? Zhenya clasped my hand and pressed her entire body against mine. I hope so, but in the end, this isn't the worst thing. I'd say one of the better ones. Zhenya yawned and closed her eyes. Sweet dreams, see you. I didn't say anything, just continued looking out the window at the landscape that was flying by. The Soviet camp was left behind, and I would never return there. Yes, I was sure about that, but it will always be a part of my life. I've changed there, changed multiple times. Compared to the time spent there, the mere 50 to 60 years that I have remaining in the real world are just a short moment, but I'll make sure to live them like a real human. Yeah, you're probably bad, just as that pioneer said. Zhenya mumbled through her sleep. What? Nothing, just sleep already. She laughed and pinched me painfully. Huh. I wonder what everyone else felt in my place. The same loss of consciousness in the first moments, the feeling of anxiety, panic. I came back to my old apartment, but I didn't recognize any of it. Yes, it definitely feels like being in a house that you lived in many years ago. Everything looks to be in the right place, but you don't remember anything. You just think that this is how it's supposed to be. I've already forgotten the day I disappeared from this world, and I'm not so sure about the year either, but it's winter outside, and that means that not much time has passed here. Yeah, I'm not 17 years old anymore, but I don't look like my real age either. So it turns out everything went okay. My return didn't have any unexpected consequences. Zhenya. I rushed to the table and wrote down the address and phone number with a shaking hand. I obviously wouldn't be able to forget them, but it'd be better to have a backup anyway. Now, what's next? How does this world work anyway? The laws are completely different here, none of which, to be honest, I've ever understood. And now I'm like a newborn, forced to live an adult's life. But let's save that for later. For now, I need to find Zhenya. Someone rang the doorbell. humans. Real humans, not pioneers. I've got to open the door. What else can I do? I finally returned, and I have to live in this world now. I slowly walked up to the door, turned the key in the lock, grabbed the handle, and froze. So, how long should I stay in the doorway for? Oh, okay. I opened the door with a jerk, and I saw Zhenya. She looked just like she did in the camp. But, how? Remember, I always arrived in the camp 1 week earlier than you, and I returned 1 week earlier. I forgot about Sylvianok, forgot about the real world. The only thing that matters is we're together. Ooh. I grabbed Zhenya and carried her into the room. So, are we just going to stand around? Sorry. Zhenya lightly jumped down onto the floor. Wait a bit, we need to do this right now. We might not have time for it later. She smiled and started digging through her purse. Give me your hands. I extended my arm out to her, and Zhenya put a ring on my finger. Just a very basic one, like the one back in the camp. In the dim light of a dusty ceiling lamp, a golden ring was shining on her finger. I think I should have bought the rings. Well, judging by the looks of your man cave, I don't think you have the money for them. We laughed together sincerely. Real snow was slowly falling outside the window. White, beautiful snow. The darkness of the night sliced by thousands upon thousands of the lights of the big city, which was singing with hundreds of voices, reminding us that we're still alive and still together. I gently moved my hand across Jenya's cheek. Warm, real. You won't disappear this time? You better believe it. You still owe me money for the rings. I hugged Zhenya and kissed her like never before. Oh, yay. Okay, nice. That was interesting. Oh, it's over. Okay. Bye.